Okay. My name is Marika, and I am 21 years old, and I'm from South Carolina. I'm currently attending Clemson University and studying civil engineering. Yes, when I was in the seventh and eighth grade, we had sex education at school. And I mean, I didn't really learn a lot from that. I Googled a couple things so I knew the general, you know, what it was about, and of course they always show you STDs and anatomy and all that. But I didn't really think about sex until I was like 17. It never really was important to me. I never really thought about it. Um, I lost my virginity when I was 2 weeks from being 18. Um, I was dating a guy for a couple months, and then we decided to have sex, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't like, well, I mean, first time is never the best, but I mean, I've never been a really sexual person. I have never masturbated, never done anything like that. Like, I just recently, a year ago, found out that, or a year and a half ago, that I have depression, and I think that has a lot to do with my low libido, sex drive, and um, the antidepressants may also be contributing to that. But I mean, my sex life has always been really normal from like the time I first lost my virginity to now. I have sex with the guys I was with after I was with them for a little while, and I noticed that when I did have sex, it would be few and far between, just because I just did not want it. I have struggled with it for years with the low sex drive, and it's been terrible because all the guys are just like, oh, we're ready to go, like blah blah blah, and I'm just sitting here like, nope. Yeah, it's it's gonna be a long road for me, but I've actually been working on becoming more comfortable with my sexuality and just trying to be open to more things, I guess. I always closed off my mind to it. I'm like, I'm so good at not having sex that I just sometimes I would just forget that I would even want it. Well, um, so I had been dating a guy for around 5 6 months, and I mean, we had kissed and all that stuff and like made out, but one day we were actually in the woods, and we were like walking and doing all this stuff. It was like a park sort of, but there was nobody really around, and uh we were like laying down in the woods, and all of a sudden we just started fooling around, and I was like, that's when sex first popped into my head. And it was not long after that that we had sex for the first time. And I mean, used a condom. It hurt a little bit, but then it was okay. It was I'm I can't remember how long it lasted. Probably lasted a little bit too long for first time. Felt like forever. Just because, I don't know. I was just like, is this really happening? When I was in a relationship, um, and the person I was with was actually like in the same town that I was, it would be once every 2 weeks, sometimes three. And it would be like twice a month when I was dating somebody who was uh, like at a different college, not in the same town. I guess I would do it whenever I saw them. Um, Basically it switched between four different ones. Those are my, well, no, or five. I don't do doggy style. That is not no. um I mean, it would go from regular missionary to me on top, reverse cowgirl, like him sitting down and me on top. I usually like being on top. So that's what it would mostly be, but nothing too crazy. Sometimes a leg up here or there, really depended on the person. Well, I don't like doggy style because I feel like an animal in a porn movie. And I don't like that at all. That's a really big turn off for me. Like, ugh. Makes me feel like, ugh. I don't know. I just don't like it at all. Makes me feel like an animal. And, um, I like being on top because it feels good. Plus, guys usually like it when you put a little bit of work in. They don't have to do all of it. Um, always in, always like on a bed or on the. Actually, like half the time I've had sex is like on the floor because it got kind of crazy a little bit. I don't know. It was just always easier on the floor. I had sex in a car once. Never again. Not really my thing. And there's not enough room. Well, actually, it was in an Explorer with the back seats down, so it was actually quite spacious. But nah, that's not my style. So I've never had sex in a public place or anything like that. I mean, I'm up to try anything one day with the right person, but haven't been too crazy up to this point. Well, I don't know if it was exactly like crazy, but oh, it was so there wasn't as there wasn't as much noise made because sometimes like headboards and stuff, it was just too noisy. So floor, no noise. Well, half the time I had sex, there were other people in the house. It would take a lot for me to change my point of view. I'm trying to do that right now. I mean, sex is not terribly important to me, but it is important in remaining like in having an intimate relationship. Like if you really really like somebody, there will be sexual attraction. And my problem was I always dated people who I was really really attracted to personality wise, but not physical attraction. And that was my problem. All these relationships I started to, it was like great for like 9 months, and then my feelings just started to taper off because the sexual attraction just wasn't there. And that's why, you know, I for the longest time I just thought there was like something seriously wrong with me and the way I viewed relationships. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, I mean, I'm working on changing my whole outlook right now, and it is working a little bit, definitely. Um, but there's still a lot of progress to be made. Well, my definition of normal sex life is like regular intimacy. I mean, doesn't have to be this way, but guys masturbate, girls masturbate. It's just to have some kind of desire there. That would be nice. It's the worst. Um, I really do have to. When I was in my last relationship, a lot of times, like if it was up to me, we wouldn't have sex ever. Like he would put up the idea, and I would try my best to follow through. And I mean, I would, but it never was. I never truly, truly like really, really wanted it. I think I can only remember like twice in my life where I was ever like fully turned on and wanting sex. It's horrible. I mean, you're in a relationship and the guy is just like, "What am I doing wrong?" And I'm like, "You're not doing anything wrong. It's all me. I'm sorry." It was like, what happened to me was the equivalent of a guy not being able to get it up. I mean, just the desire was just not there. It was awful. I struggle with it a lot. Well, what's funny is that both times, um, I think only once did I ever have sex. Like there was one time I was with a guy and we were actually I was staying with him and his father at his grandmother's house and there was like some other family members there and he was sleeping on the floor in the living room and I was sleeping on the couch. And I don't know, I like got down there with him and was laying there with him and we got to making out and I just, I don't know. We were just making out for the longest time, and I just had this feeling deep in my gut. I was just like, oh my god, if I don't have sex right now, I'm gonna go crazy. And that was pretty much the only time I've ever felt that, and I have not been able to get to that point again. Like, now that I think, I actually can't remember another time. It's absolutely stupid. I mean, there's sometimes I've been turned on a little bit, but it was never like, oh my gosh, I have to, or I'm gonna be so upset. What turns me on? Um, a lot of foreplay. Like you have to build up to it. A lot of guys try to jump into sex like too early. You have to ease the girl into it. Like especially me. Like I can't be thinking about anything else, otherwise it won't happen. Yeah. I mean, it would always feel good, but it would never be so good that I could get any like orgasm out of it. I've never had an orgasm. It just, I don't know. I mean, it felt good because it was sex, but it was never like absolutely amazing enough to and have me orgasm. Or I didn't know exactly how to make that happen. I think I was close one time, but no cigar. It was with my last boyfriend. Um, he tried so hard, and I don't know. For like, I don't know, for like 30 minutes, he was basically masturbating me. And I don't know. I just felt like I was gonna have to pee. And evidently that's a sign that you're going to orgasm, but like, I didn't know what to do. Like, my body did not know what to do. I couldn't, like, follow through on that feeling because I was just like, what is this? It was, like, really, really intense. And it just stopped. But I definitely would have known if it actually happened. Definitely. I've thought about it going to see a therapist. Um, I don't know if there are any sex therapists around here, but I think it would definitely help. I've also looked online some like helpful hints and tricks, and I might uh, follow through on some of that advice and see if it helps. But if nothing really helps, then I will definitely go seek professional help because you know it's going to be a real barrier in relationships if this is how it's going to be. Well, before anyone else can get to know my body, I have to know my body first. I think before I become truly comfortable with my body, I have to explore my body. And I have to masturbate to the point of orgasm. And that's one thing that you have to work on, because if you don't know your body, how is someone else going to get to know it? Or how are they going to even. I don't know. That's just like the way I think about it is like, if I don't know my body, like, how is that going to help anyone else? No. Um, I've tried twice since I was in the 11th grade, which was like 16. So for 5 years, I tried twice for only 5 seconds, and then I stopped because I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. I just didn't feel like it anymore after 5 seconds. It's terrible. Oh man, just someone who I really, really, really care about, who is also like, who I'm like super sexually attracted to. Like, just someone when they kiss you, you can feel it all the way down to your toes. I know that sounds like a sappy romantic movie shit, but like I've actually felt that with one person before, and it's the most incredible thing. And I think if I have that like emotional and sexual connection, that I will be able to have amazing sex. Shit went down. I I mean, I we're not friends anymore. This happened recently actually. I mean, he's kind of a dick. I mean, I don't like. As soon as he pulled an asshole move, I was like, "Fuck you! I'm not talking to you anymore." I don't really have any. Well, maybe one. I've always I don't know. Like some people's sexual fantasies are really weird. I think mine, like, I'd always dreamt of like being rescued by a superhero or some hot masked man, and then we'd make super passionate love afterwards, and I'd be grateful. I don't know, something stupid like that, but I never really went into detail. Um, I have actually talked about it with a couple of my friends, just like the ones I'm really really close to, because I'm a pretty open person. I um I talked in detail to one of my friends about, the depression, the low libido, I mean, everything. And he was like asking me all these questions and, making me explore it in detail, which I actually um, appreciate because it made me think about it a lot more and help me understand it. So, I mean, I talk about it with a few people. Um, sort of. Not I don't know. Whenever I hear about the sex lives of other people, it just seems like it's not that I get jealous, but I'm just like, it would be a lot better if I could have sex as readily as they can. It's like, oh, blah, 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 just decided to happen. I was like, I wish that could happen to me. So it's not like I find it interesting, but, um, I mean, you can spare me the details. I really don't know. I think it might be the depression, or it might be just natural. I actually talked to my mom and my sister about this. Like, evidently, my sister has pretty low sex drive too, and so does my mom. So, I'm not really sure. I asked one of my other friends who also has depression if his sex drive is really low, and I mean, he said it seems pretty normal. I mean, he'll have like a down week or blah blah blah, but I don't know. I found it kind of interesting. Like, I randomly got the message, and I was like, oh, okay. I'll just talk about it. Sure. Why not? That's usually what I say. Why not?